And now to officially start our meeting, if you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now call this meeting of the Clermont County Board of Commissioners duly open, and we'll move right on with our agenda. To be, before we start there, I'd just like to acknowledge that Ed Humphrey is here. Commissioner Humphrey is here with us this morning from a remote location. Good morning, Commissioner Humphrey.
Good morning. I'm home in my office with the door shut, so I don't have a mask on, but I would have otherwise.
Well, I have to say, to see you without that mask on looks very refreshing from us who are, you bet. And now we'll move to B, the approval of regular session minutes of November 18th, 2020. Board, I know you've had these minutes early, had an opportunity to review them, ask for any clarifications or questions. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of 11/18/2020?
Make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Been moved and received a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Our agenda, item C, the consent agenda. Consent agenda has been prepared for you. I know you've had it early, had the opportunity to review it. Are there any items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda for further discussion or review?
None.
None.
Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. And we'll move on to our non-consent agenda. Starts on page 6 with item number 16. It's a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution 177-20 resolving to approve payments in the amount of $2,239,866.68 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated November 23rd, 2020. BCC directed prepaid invoice reports and/or the procurement card transaction report is presented by the county auditor on 11/20/2020, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for the same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 17.
Good morning, Jeremy Evans, County Engineer. So item number 17 is a recommendation with the concurrence of Tom Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 629-3241 for the replat of lots in the following subdivisions in Miami Township. This is the Hidden Ridge subdivision, section 4. It's a replat of lot 50, which would create new lots number 51, 52, 53, and 54.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 17 for replats of lots. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 18.
Number 18 is a recommendation to execute record plat number 629-3242 for the replat of the lots in the following subdivision located also within Miami Township. This is the Indian Hill View second subdivision, replat of lot number 13. This would create a new lot 13A.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18 for a replat of subdivision of Miami Township. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 19.
Item 19 is a recommendation to approve the request of the developer of the following subdivisions, reduce the amount of the performance bond for sidewalks heretofore approved by the Board of County Commissioners on 10/4/17 as surety, therefore, for which the reduced amount reflects a 75% completion thereof pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions set forth in the aforestated surety bonds for same. This is the Twin Gates subdivision, section 2B, Batavia Township. The initial performance bond amount was for $115,720. The revised amount of performance bond for sidewalks, $28,930.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 19 for Twin Gates subdivision, reduction in the performance bond for sidewalks. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. Item number 20.
Item 20 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 178-20, resolving to authorize myself as county engineer to execute, certify, and submit applications for financial assistance for infrastructure replacements and improvements for project support for the following infrastructure improvement program projects for program year 35, the amounts outlined below, or other such amounts as may be awarded to the Ohio Public Works Commission, Columbus, Ohio, including all understandings and assurances therein required to and to act in accordance with the applications as they may be revised, and to provide such additional information as may be required pursuant to and compliance with Chapter 164 of the Ohio Revised Code, and to further authorize myself to execute the Ohio Public Works Commission project grant agreements relative thereto. There are two projects we've applied for funding through OPWC this year. The first we're calling the 2021 Bridge Replacement Project. This would address 6 of our load deficient bridges. The OPWC grant request amount is $1,303,500. MVG funds would cover $346,500 as a local match for a total project cost of $1.65 million. The second project we're calling the Old 74 Improvement Project and Bridge Replacement. This is on Old 74 near Rumpke Road in Eastgate area, if you're familiar. OPWC grant amount would be $553,000. MVG would cover local match of $147,000 for a total project cost of $700,000.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 20 for OPWC involvement. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second.
Moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Item number 21.
Good morning, I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Clermont County Water Resources Department. And item 21 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement that will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling water utility lines, pumping equipment, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of water in, on, under, and across the property of the grantors. And this is for project number 6401-60180 relative to the Weaver Road Water Petition Project located in Stone Township. The grantors are Donovan, Andrew, and Tommy Leanne Welch for property at 5828 Weaver Road.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 21. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. Item number 22.
Item 22 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement. It will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling water utility lines, pumping equipment, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of water in, on, under, and across the property of the grantor. And this is for project number 6401-60167 relative to the State Route 132 water main replacement from State Route 48 to State Route 28 located in Goshen Township, and to authorize the execution of the plat of easement as designated, and further to authorize the county auditor to remit payment to the grantor in the amounts as outlined below and as indicated on the settlement sheets, which are attached as compensation for the permanent easement and right of way. The grantor is Faith Missionary Baptist Church. This is for property at 6495 State Route 132.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 22. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. Item number 23.
Item 23 is a recommendation to accept the following grants of sewer easements with rights of reentry for repair and replacement. They'll be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling sewer utility lines, pumping equipment, manholes, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of sewage in, on, under, and across the properties of the grantors. And this is for project number 6402-60116 relative to the Newtonsville Collection System Assessment Project located in Wayne Township, and to authorize the execution of the plats of easements as designated, and further authorize the county auditor to remit payment to the grantors in the amounts as outlined as indicated on the settlement sheets as compensation for the permanent easements and rights of way and or repairs. We have 5 easements related to this that are listed. This will make 22 of the 44 easements that we need to begin construction on this project.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 23. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. Thanks, Lyle.
Thank you.
Item number 24.
Good morning. Item
Morning.
number 24 is the recommendation of William Harris, Director of Clermont Transportation Connection, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the Board of Clermont County Commissioners and Clermont Transportation Connection and JMK Transportation LLC, 5457 Thomas Road, Georgetown, Ohio, 45121, for the provision of a secondary transportation provider for the non-emergency transportation and the at-risk pregnancy transportation programs in concert with the Memorandum of Understanding with the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 2/5/2020 to execute the first of 2 options to renew set forth in Article 1 of the Purchase of Service Agreement entitled Period of Contract Heretofore, ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 12/3/2019 for an additional 1-year period effective 12/7/2020 through 12/6/2021 at the rates of $12 for basic pickup fee plus actual miles, 2, $15 for the minimum charge, 3, $1.60 per mile for the mileage rates, and no extra for per trip for additional charge per unattended child, and nothing for attendant rate, pursuant with the compliance with the terms of conditions set forth and contingent upon the issuance and release of the required purchase order relative thereto.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 24. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly?
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. Item number 25.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael McNamara, Director of Department of Community and Economic Development. This is the recommendation of Michael McNamara, Director, Department of Community and Economic Development, with the concurrence of Greg Bickford, Assistant County Administrator, to execute change order number 2 to the contract with Kramer and Feldman Incorporated, 7363 Production Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45237, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 6/3/2020 and subsequently amended on 9/30/2020 for project number 2018-04 relative to the Franklin Township Fire and EMS Building Improvements Project in concert with the Clermont County Community Development Block Grant for fiscal year 2018, which represents an increase in the amount of $3,208 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $259,658 for additions, deletions, and/or modifications thereto as defined therein and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with requisition number 0005234-00 dated 10/30/2020 relative thereto.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 25. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey.
Aye.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Item number 26.
26 will be mine. My recommendation to adopt the revised table of organization for the ISD department as outlined below, effective November 23rd, 2020, and to further authorize and update the appropriate internet links and appendices accordingly. And what we are doing is we are reclassifying a system analyst 1 to a system analyst 2. We are removing a system analyst 2 effective 1/2/21, and we are adding a new system analyst 2.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 26. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey.
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Greg. Item number 27.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item 27 is a recommendation of myself, Sandy Tahat, Human Resource Administrator, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Igo, County Administrator, to approve Amendment Number 3 to the Clermont County Critical Event Policy, effective upon approval, and further to authorize HR to update the internet links and dependencies accordingly. And if I may, Commissioners, this amendment updates return to work guidelines for staff members that have been ill, adds guidelines regarding Ohio's travel advisory, and appends a COVID-19 decision tree to help aid departments in making decisions about staff reporting.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 27. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion?
None.
Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey.
Aye.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Before I move on, thanks, Sandy. Before I move on to item 28, I'd just like to go back to item 26, Greg. One of the things, it traveled on to the next page, but there was also a cabling coordinator on there.
That's correct. That was my mistake. Yeah, so we're taking the cabling coordinator away from the TGV side of the TO.
Okay.
That's
I
what
thought he covered that. I thought he said remove. So I hope.
Yeah, I just forgot to read that part. I'm looking at it right here. I just forgot to read it.
Okay.
So do we want to redo that motion?
Since we didn't discuss it, what I would ask is I'll go back to item number 26, and I would like to make a motion to rescind our original vote on item number 26. Do I have a second?
You got your second.
Do you second, Ed?
Yep.
Okay, it's been moved and received a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey.
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Okay, then I'd like to handle item 26 again, and I think it's been read. It's a recommendation of Greg Bickford, the Assistant Administrator, to adopt a revised table of organization for the Information System Department as outlined in Exhibit A and attached thereto, made a part thereof, effective November 23rd, and to further authorize the update of the appropriate internet links and appendices. He had talked about a System Analyst 1 to reclassify to a 2, to add a System Analyst 2, to remove a System Analyst, and also to remove a Cabling Coordinator designation. Is that correct, Brad?
That's correct.
Then I'd ask for a motion for item number 26 as read.
I'll make that motion again.
I'll
Okay.
second.
It's been moved and received a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey.
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. And that's fine. That's, it bled over onto my second page too, so I didn't see it either. Okay, we'll move on with the agenda. Item number 28.
Item 28. Item 28 is going to be a disposition for the petition for annexation of 0.4936 acres of land owned by Anthony J. Scott and Ashley M. Feisler to the Village of Williamsburg in Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to Section 70902 of the Ohio Revised Code. Commissioners, on Monday, August 24th, 2020, a petition for annexation was filed by Michael Manier, attorney at law, for and on behalf of Susan Eller Horst of Williamsburg, Ohio, as the designated agent for the petitioners Anthony J. Scott and Ashley M. Feisler, and it was comprised of all of Lot 18 of Carpenter Meadows subdivision from Williamsburg Township to the village of Williamsburg. The petition was acknowledged by the board on August 26, 2020, and a public hearing was scheduled for November 4th, 2020 at 11 a.m. at the Board of County Commissioners. The prosecuting attorney has reviewed all documentation received and has rendered an opinion, which was disseminated to the board last Friday, along with 2 resolutions, one to grant and one to deny the annexation. Today is November 23rd, 2020, and we are within the 30-day period for the disposition of this annexation.
Board members, I've read the opinion of the legal offices. I've also looked over the criteria for granting or denying of the annexation. Therefore, I'd like to make the following resolution. The Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution 179-20 resolving to grant the petition for annexation of 0.4936 acres of land situated within Williamsburg Township to the village of Williamsburg, Clermont County, Ohio, filed in the office of the Board of Clermont County Commissioners at 9:21 a.m. on Monday, August 24th by Michael Manier, attorney at law at 626 Main Street, Milford, Ohio, 45150, for and on behalf of Susan M. Ellhurst at 107 West Main Street, Williamsburg, Ohio, as the designated agent for the petitioners, Anthony J. Scott and Ashley M. Feisler, who are the owners of the described real estate sought to be annexed pursuant to and in compliance with Section 709.02 of the Ohio Revised Code. I've made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation? Roll.
Commissioner Painter, Alan Edwards is available. If the commissioners did have any questions, he is available by Zoom.
Any questions, commissioners?
I have none.
Okay. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Item number 29.
Morning.
Hello, Emily.
Emily Akers with the OMB, and I have a recommendation of Mary Kay Raines, the director of the OMB. This is to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 191-19 for this calendar year. This is supplemental appropriation increases for Family and Children First, their regular salary $10,000 due to not calculating the rate increase, and the local coronavirus relief, increasing that $14,500 for some last expenses that came in.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 29 for some supplemental appropriations for calendar year 2020. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks,
Thank
Emily.
you.
You bet. I'll move to E, additions to the agenda. Any additions at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hearing none, I would go to item F. I'm requesting an executive session pursuant to section 121.22G1 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the appointment, employment, or compensation of one or more public employees. Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and received a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner,
Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Would you like to invite our commissioner-elect to executive session?
Yes, I would. So in accordance with that, I would like to invite Commissioner-elect Bonnie Batchelor to our executive session. Any objection, board?
No, I'll include that in my motion.
Okay, it's been included in the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Claire provided a second. Roll call, Holly.
Commissioner Humphrey,
Aye.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Tom, for reminding me of that. We will move to executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. Thank you. We are back from executive session. There were no actions taken and no decisions made. And so we'll move on with our agenda. Additions to the agenda. Any further additions to the agenda today? Okay. Then we'll go to G, county staff or elected official discussions. Any county staff or elected official discussions that need to come before the board this morning? Okay. Then I will move to H, member comments. Board members, any comments today about today's meeting? Anything you'd like to say?
Well, as usual, I'd like to talk about the COVID issue. Thanksgiving coming up Thursday. My family is celebrating at their residences and we're getting together on Zoom. Janice and I will be alone. It's kind of one of those things. You put off one to have a number of others in the future. So it is, I think it's real, and I think that Clermont County, the state and the nation is all seeing a peak in COVID cases. And I'm concerned that the holiday will create even a more of a peak.
Mr. Humphrey, your comments are well taken. I mean, I think we've all seen the heat map when it comes to COVID-19 here in Ohio. I know every county is red. We have one county that is purple. That is Franklin County. That was just announced this past week. You're hearing the news articles. People are working feverishly on vaccine options that will come available very shortly. And then, you know, we all are talking about the occurrence of business shutdowns and limiting our access to business here in Clermont County. And let me just say this, you know, we understand what the hazards are. We know that this is a virus. I think we've all been well educated in that. What I would say is this virus is nothing to fear. You know, we need to protect those that are the most vulnerable within the population. Obviously, our elderly and our grandparents need to be protected. But this is not something to fear. This is something that you understand the hazard. You know what the precautions are and the protections to take. You know, I know myself and my wife, we move freely about this county doing the business that we need to. But, you know, we mask up appropriately when we need to go to places. On occasion, we use gloves. And then always when we get home, we make sure we wash our hands before we do anything else with getting in there. And, you know, taking those precautions doesn't limit our freedom or our ability to go about our daily task. And so I would encourage those to, you know, if you don't understand the virus and you don't understand the protocols to ensure your safety, you know, by all means, read up on that, become educated, and then use the proper PPE that you need, including hand washing techniques to ensure you and your family's safety, and go about your daily lives and do what you need to do. We've seen that shutdowns before haven't limited the amount of the growth of this virus. I think everyone had always anticipated that as we moved into the winter season, that we were going to see a large spike in the amount of cases of this virus, and we're there now. So again, you know, don't be afraid, you know, use the proper precautions and ensure yourself and your family's safety. And you know, let's have the best holiday that we can under the circumstances that we're at. So any other comments, board members?
The only other comment was, I'm sure on behalf of all the staff and the county commissioners, we'd like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. We hope you have a very safe and blessed happy Thanksgiving this year. And also to remember that one of the groups that is the most vulnerable, that has to do emotionally dealing with this virus, is our children, our elderly, and those who are in great need at this time. A lot of people are laid off, don't have the finances to help support their own family, and just reaching out to ask people to think of others this holiday. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Commissioner Porter. You bet. Anything else to come before this board this morning? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting today.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Holly, roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Humphrey.
Aye.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we stand in adjournment. Thanks for attending our November 23rd, 2020 Board of Clermont County Commissioners meeting. To everyone out there, have a blessed and safe Thanksgiving holiday. Thanks for attending, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you.